And hello. Today we'll be looking at sets and subsets. So this will be an introduction into what exactly sets are and what exactly are the subsets of those sets. Um, just as a little introduction, just thinking about sets, let's just first think about lists or groups of things. So we're all familiar with lists and groups. Here's a list. So you have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Another list of things could be Minecraft, Fortnite, Call of Duty, FIFA. Another list of things could be hockey, soccer, hurling, tennis. And these are all lists or groups of things. And there's kind of a rule that identifies each of these groups. So obviously the first one are social medias, so Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Video games, that's the list: Minecraft, Fortnite, and Call of Duty, and FIFA. And then sports, well, that's hockey, soccer, hurling, tennis. Now, obviously, we could extend these, we could add more things to this list, but this is just an example with a few things in the list that are given by a specific kind of rule. So we say, okay, sports, and these things in the list or the group have to be a sport. We could also do the other way around. So if you're given kind of a rule or some way to identify a list, say car brands. Well, I just picked out 3: Ferrari, Ford, Audi. You could pick out other ones if you want: Lamborghini, Maserati, BMW, whatever you want. Celebrities, I said Tom Hanks, Bono, and Zendaya. Again, you could add more people into there if you wanted. And then clothes brands, well, I said Adidas, Gucci, Diesel. So we can be given kind of the description of the list or the group, and then we have what we call the elements of that. So Ferrari, Ford, and Audi, those are elements of the group. And this kind of describes what the group actually is. So what actually is a set then, mathematically? A set is a collection of well-defined and distinct objects. Now, the two important words there are well-defined and distinct. And I'll just go through what does that actually mean. So here's a set. So we're not going to call them lists or groups anymore. We'll call them sets. That's the mathematical term. Now, I just added in here, we use these little curly brackets and commas to make a set. So we have our first element, Monday, comma, and then we have the next element, Tuesday, comma, Wednesday, comma, Thursday, and so on. And the start, it's all contained, see the first curly bracket and then the last curly bracket. So anyway, going back to what does well-defined mean? Well, the objects follow a rule or description. So obviously Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are days of the week. So that would be well defined. There is some rule going there. Distinct. That means no repeats of objects. So if I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or if I had 2 Fridays or 3 Saturdays in this list, that wouldn't be a set. They don't have distinct elements. So again, remember, elements are what we call the things in the set. So definitely remember these 2 words: distinct, well defined. So you might not be asked for a definition of a set, but it's important to know that if sometimes you'll be asked, is this a set? And maybe, why is this a set or why is it not a set? These are the 2 words you're looking for: distinct, well defined. So we've kind of discussed what sets are. They're just lists or groups of elements or things. What are subsets then? If I picked even numbers, so here's the set of even numbers. So remember, even numbers are just numbers that can be divided by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now the ... just means I keep on going. I'm not, because obviously I'd run out of space. It would go on forever. So the next one would be 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and so on. Those are the even numbers. That's a set. Now, what about the even numbers before 10? So that would be 2, 4, 6, 8. And I'm not going to include 10. So it's before 10. 2, 4, 6, 8. So this is one set. This is a different set. They're not the same. This set includes 12, 14, well, it includes 10, includes 102, includes all the even numbers. This only has 4 bits, 2, 4, 6, 8, 4 elements. So what we say is even numbers before 10, and we have this little symbol, I have it up here as well. This is what we call a subset of the even numbers. So what a subset is it's a kind of a cutout bit of the set. So imagine this long list of numbers. I've just cut out a tiny bit. I've snipped from 2 to 8. I've snipped it out and I've put it here. So this will be a subset, like a sub part of the set. So a subset, this is the official definition, contains elements which are in another set. So see the way 2, 4, 6, 8, it's already in this set. All the elements from the subset should be a part of the set. So what does that mean? Let's say I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 in this set. Yeah? Now, this would no longer be a subset of the even numbers. And why is that? Yeah, 2 is here, 4 is here, 6 is here, 8 is here. So so far it's looking good, it's a subset. But if I had 9, well, 9 wasn't in this original set up here. So it wouldn't be a subset. That's what I mean by all elements from the subset should be part of the original set. So this set. So yeah, that's really important. Just the all elements part. Just remember that. So yeah, just a few examples. 1, 5, 6, 8. Now remember, is a subset. This means, so this is a subset. The left is a subset of, and I gave an example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now why is that? Because look, I picked 1, 5, 6, 8. Well, 1 is in the set, 5 is in the set, 6 is in the set, and 8 is in the set. Boom. So that's a subset of this set. Red, blue, yellow is a subset of blue, yellow, red, green, black. And why? Red is in the set. Look, there's a red there. Blue is in the set, and yellow is in the set. Now I'll look at this side. So A, well, that would be a subset of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Look, A is in A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So yeah, A is a subset. We don't have a subset can just have one thing, or it can have no things, and we'll talk about that in a second. What about a subset of English, Irish, English, maths, art? Well, I said Irish, English. So Irish, English would be a subset of Irish, English, maths, and art. Or I could have picked maths, or I could have picked art, or I could have picked English, maths, and art. As long as I pick things that are already in this set, picked elements that are already in this set. Now, there's a special thing called a null set that I want to touch on briefly. Now, null, you might have heard in some other context, null is another word for zero. So it's a zero set. So the null set is an empty set. So it's just a curly bracket, nothing, curly bracket. And it is important to note that, so your null set, so the nothing set, like nothing in it, is a subset for any sets. So I'll come back to that in a second. A set is a subset of itself. So, example, what I mean by this is an easier one to understand. 1, 2, 3 is a subset of 1, 2, 3. So what that's saying is, is 1 in this set? Yes, it is. 2 is in the set? Yes, it is. 3 is in the set? Yes, it is. So it's a subset. Now I know what you're saying. Well, it's exactly the same. Yes, it is, but it is also a subset. Now, this first part here, the null set is a subset for any sets. So any of my examples back here, any of these guys, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blue, yellow, A, B, C, D, English, Irish, maths, all of those, the null set is a subset of all of them. So nothing is in all these sets. That's another way I like to think about it, is 0 is also in every set. So in blue, yellow, red, green, black, you could also say there's nothing here as well, just before blue. There's nothing. So nothing is a subset of blue, yellow, red, green, black. So yeah, need to remember these things. Null set is a subset for any sets, and a set is just a subset of itself. Okay, as I always do, I'll leave you do some recap questions. So I'll just give you a second to pause the video. You can do that. So, is this a set? 9 minus 4, 8, 7, 6, 5. Well, yeah, it is a set. Because remember, we need it distinct. So is there any repeats? No. And it's well defined. Yeah, it's just a list of numbers. 9 minus 4, 8, 7, 6, 5. An example of a not defined set would be 9 minus 4 triangle Lamborghini 3 1. What's going on there? It's not really defined. While this is just a bunch of numbers. So yeah, it is defined. Is this a subset? So 2, 4, 6 is a subset of 8, 10, 12. No. So remember, a subset. So if this was a subset, all these elements would have to be in this set here. So is 2 in this set? No. So instantly it's not a subset. But look, 4 is not in it. No. 6 is in it. Not in it. No. So 2, 4, 6 are not in the set 8, 10, 12. So therefore it is not a subset.